Hi, welcome to this part of my guide and review featuring the Mythic Game Master Emulator, 2nd edition. If you haven't seen the other parts of my guide and review, please check out the playlist in the description below. This time we are going to talk about interpreting the event. Mythic provides the foundation for your random event. The event focus tells you what aspect of the adventure to turn your attention to. The event meaning suggests details, and the context of the adventure gives you a background of previous events to draw from. Now it's up to you to determine how it all fits together. Just as your expectations guide your interpretation of fate questions, they also guide your interpretation of random events. When you combine the context with the event focus and the event meaning, whatever your gut tells you is your expectation speaking to you. You need to trust yourself in this. Interpretation of Mythic prompts is more art than science. You may encounter struggles such as getting past the literal meaning of the prompts or coming up with an idea you are happy with. It is advisable to listen to your gut and trust yourself. Open your mind and don't treat the prompt like it defines your interpretation. Instead, see that prompt for what it is, a starting point from which you can take your interpretation anywhere, as long as it's fun and it makes sense to you. There is no wrong answer when it comes to interpretations, but you should allow your expectations to help you choose what makes the most sense in the moment. If the event meaning doesn't give you enough information to spark an interpretation, or if you get stuck trying to come up with one, you can always ask a fate question or two to narrow down your options. Keep in mind that your event focus and event meaning are inspirational prompts that don't have to be followed to the letter. As long as it fits within a reasonable expectation, feel free to go with any interpretation that makes sense, even if it means stretching the event meaning a little. Another way to figure out what a random event means when you are stuck for an interpretation is to do another meaning roll to see what additional information an extra pair of words suggests to you. You can use the same meaning table you used for the event, or a different one if it seems more appropriate. Random events add twists and turns to your mythic adventure that aren't the direct result of fate questions. Sometimes, interpretation will come quickly and easily. Other times, it may be more difficult. If you find yourself well and truly stuck when interpreting a random event, and clarifying fate questions or additional meaning words aren't helping, feel free to invoke the I do know rule. The I do know rule is a way of saying that it's okay to let the random event drop and just move on with your adventure. If no interpretations are coming to mind, or the random event just isn't making sense, then forget about it and proceed as though you never rolled it. Continue your adventure rather than hold it up. Be careful not to overdo the I do know rule. There's a difference between taking forever to come up with the perfect interpretation and taking a moment to craft something workable. It's easy to overthink the results of random events. It is recommended that you go with the first thing that comes to mind, just like you would when interpreting fate questions. But if you really are stuck on an interpretation, then let it go and move on for the sake of narrative flow. And this concludes this part of the guide and review. In the next part, we are going to talk about the big random event example. So yes, it's all about a balancing act, proceeding with the events that you like, that you find enjoyable and exciting, but they also need to make sense with what has been going on so far. You want to introduce those scenes, or rather those events, that you find enjoyable, but you also want to experience the surprises and the problem-solving nature of coming up with a coherent way of integrating an effect with a cause. Otherwise, if you are just trying to dictate things according to your needs and your enjoyment without that sense of the unexpected, the surprising, then why would you be using a Game Master emulator at all? Thank you for watching this part of the guide and review, and thank you for your likes and your comments. If you have any questions or comments, please let me know. And thank you so much to those of you that are going the extra mile to support the channel. If anyone else wishes to further support the channel, the information on how to do that will be in the description below. Once again, thank you, and see you later.